Hello, goblins! It's Chris, Eldritch Pipes, and it's an episode of this week's Pipes. A little later than usual, there's been a lot going on. But I'm here finally, and I'm smoking Cornell and Deal's Carolina Red Flake with Perique. A very lovely blend. Really summery, I want to say. Light, fragrant, but that Perique just gives that little spiciness going on. I've been listening recently to a new podcast, and I think it's a strong contender for a new Listen with Eldritch series. I finished the first season, and there's only, technically there's 3 seasons of this show, although the last season is a bit shorter than the others. I just want to see where season 2 goes before I commit, but I really like the first season a lot. It's very good. Quite long episodes as well, about 45 minutes, which I quite like. Gives a chance to get something done while I'm listening to them. Alright, this week's Pipes. I've got a commission to show you, and I've got something else. We'll do that a second. Alright. This pipe going off to a great customer. And it is an Acorn. You might remember I did an Acorn last week, and I'm going to be doing an Acorn next week as well. This version is becoming quite popular at the moment. It is, of course, a rendition of the version that I smoke. This one is done in a chocolate and yellow contrast blast. As you can see, the new sandblast media is still pulling out like loads of really fine ring grain, which is very interesting. But obviously you're getting the straight grain on the contrast blast, which is really nice. That contrast goes all the way down the shank. Again, loads of ring grain detail coming through on these sandblasts. And again, the contrast blast going all the way down to the shank. This is done the stem is a gold Cumberland, so it's black and gold, but this is quite an atypical piece, really gold heavy, super gold heavy, with just a few tendrils of black coming up. It's like a ring of black at the base. It's really interesting, isn't it? It's just you never know what you're going to get sometimes, and such a gold heavy piece. Just really interesting. Half saddle stem, which is how I like to do these things. Even though mine's a full saddle stem, but and the one I did last week was full saddle. That's because I did it in ebonite. When I work in ebonite, the full saddle stem is possible, but when I work in the resin, I prefer the half saddle stem. I like the flow. I like the continuous flow underneath, and then you get this kind of marking off the end of the top line with that scoop. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. I enjoy it. So that'll be going off to Charles. tomorrow. Where's the safe place? Over here. Alright. The next show and tell is a big piece. It's time once again for a 4 Horsemen box set, which is always really exciting. This one is called Rest in Peace. With the rest being an allusion to the theme of the set, which is pipes that sit, sitting pipes, pipes at rest, if you will. So, that's the lid. Let's see what we've got. Shall I do mine first? I'll do mine first. Right. It is a Dublin sitter in a golden sandblast with green Cumberland. There's actually Japanese Cumberland, which is the colour is quite hard to get hold of. I bought some rods of this colour quite a few moons ago, and you just can't get hold of it very easily at all. What I like about these light colour blasts is you do get to see the grain detail. You do get to see the straight grain. It's almost like a contrast blast, a very light contrast blast. The blast has brought out the ring grain. And some nicely rugged plateau on the rim. Look at that. I really like that. It's not super crazy, but it's enough to feel rugged. But there you go. One of the few stems I've done in vulcanite is the material. So that's mine. Let's do Mike's next. This is Mike from Blakemore Briar. Really attractive panelled billiard. Look at that, with a kind of like an agate look to the stem. I'm not sure what that material is called, but it's some kind. It's an acrylic, but the pattern reminds me of just like an agate. Nice detailed blast. Just really nice work from Mike. Again, Mike gets some nice detail on the grain, on the ring grain. There you go. That's Mike's piece. Let's do Chris Asquith. This is Chris's piece for the set. Sandblasted poker with a bit of humour, I think. Smashing a yellow stem onto a black pipe, I highly approve of. Some nice, quite even plateau, but nicely patterned, nicely detailed. Really, lots of detail on the ring grain. Look at that. That's a lovely piece. You can see the ring grain just for days. One of these days I must ask Chris what media he uses. It's a nice piece of, I'm not sure if it's polyester or acrylic. I think Chris might favour polyester, if I'm right. But really nice piece of patterned, sort of like, obviously it's high visibility yellow there, with kind of streaks of like a pale white. Yeah. So there you go. That's Chris's piece. Really, it's always worth enjoying the precision of Chris's buttons. They always have this kind of like this nice camber to them, and yeah, they're just very refined buttons on Chris's pipes. Put that down actually, the last one. Last is Ian's. With an pawl, a sitting pawl, army mount stem. Again, really nice detail in the blast. Oodles of ring grain. Really nice. In fact, you almost can't see the straight grain. The ring grain is so prominent in the blast. Really cool. And it looks like there's a colour that Sem, which is a German company that produces Cumberland and Ebonite, and this looks very reminiscent of the sand colour. I'm not absolutely certain that it is, but I've had one piece of sand, I think, and this reminds me of that. Yeah, look, smooth rim to contrast with the rugged blast. That's really nice. And obviously that's Ian showing off his silver work there as well. That's cool. All right. So those are the 4 pipes for the new set. Contact me if you're interested in 4 horsemen sets, and I can tell you what's coming up and so on. All right, I'll leave it at that for this week. Okay, yeah, take it very easy, and I'll see you for this week's pipes. So yeah, be good, your loyal pipe maker.